Hey, what's up guys? It's Nightwing2303 from WearTesters. And today we have the performance review on the Nike Kobe 10 Elite. Many people have been asking me if I'm going to be doing the other Elite models. The quick answer is no. As you can see right here, the KD7 Elite, nothing's changed. Same tooling, which means the same cushion, same traction. Only thing's changed is the materials on the upper. And I personally already know that I do not like playing in foam posit. If you do like playing in foam posit, this is probably going to be a good option for you versus the mesh and posit material that they used on the previous KD7. But for me personally, that's just not my thing and I really don't want to play in them. As far as a LeBron 12 Elite here, those things, there's nothing changed, period. They've actually reduced material. They've taken off the posit side panels and then they've replaced it with plastic, which I just think is weird because then they increase the price. They haven't done anything different tech-wise. Again, just like the other models, same tooling, so same cushion, same traction, which you could say about these, but what I was really curious about these guys here is if they've actually fixed, or I would say fixed, but maybe upgraded the Flyknit, made it more natural Flyknit like the runners versus the Kobe 9. And you'll see in this review whether or not that's the case. But that's the long and short of it. Honestly, I would just wait for those Elite models to go way down in price. Those things are just not worth it in my opinion. I think you're better off in the regular models as it is. That's just me though. If you do like them, then have at it. If you got the money to spend, then by all means, feel free. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So like I said earlier, the traction on the Kobe 10 is exactly the same as the regular model. Definitely not something I would recommend outdoors, but as far as an indoor model is concerned, these worked really well, at least from my experience. I've yet to have an issue with this shoe's traction on any court or condition. However, I have read other people's comments stating the exact opposite. I don't know if it's true or not, but you know, take it or leave it for what it is. I personally have had zero issues with this setup. Just like the traction, the cushion is exactly the same as the regular Kobe 10 as well. Still got that heel zoom coupled with full-length lunar, which is cut along the entire surface for a segmented feel, much like a Nike Free. So like I mentioned in the regular Kobe 10 review, nothing about the cushion is truly amazing, but it is really nice. I personally really enjoy it. The TPU cage does restrict the feeling of everything. Like I said before, doesn't restrict it enough to make things uncomfortable, but it's just enough to where you don't get the full experience, I guess, that you would normally with like an exposed zoom unit. Nonetheless, I really like the cushion. I think they're really comfortable and I really don't have any complaints. Now the materials, this is where things really start to get switched up between these and the regular Kobe's. Nike removed the fuse that I really didn't like and they put on Flyknit, something that we were already expecting, but what I was hoping for was a revamped Flyknit. I was hoping something that was more natural or raw versus something that was backed heavily by glue. Unfortunately, they still glued the hell out of these things. There's glue almost in every single part of them, with the exception of like small little portions right here on the mid panel. These small tiny areas are natural Flyknit, but then all of this like I-rand right here, the lace area, that's all glued. Underneath it is glued, behind it is glued, so it's like you only have like tiny little windows of raw Flyknit, whereas everything else is again heavily backed by glue. Now don't get me wrong, I still like this setup a lot more than I do the fuse, but if you are being critical, I really don't think that it makes that much of a difference as far as performance is concerned. There is really no true benefit over one material or the other in the way that they've at least used the Flyknit. As far as their fit, I'd say go true to size, but they are super snug right at the forefoot here, so if possible, definitely try them on. Something that I do find strange is that every single pair of these that I have worn have given me a slightly different fit in the forefoot. The All-Star edition that I wore had no issues whatsoever, and then the 5 AM flight colorway, I had some dead space along with a little bit of break-in time right here. Those hurt in the beginning. And then these guys right here fit the most snug, and this section and this section of the TPU cage just digs into my feet like crazy. So basically, anytime I play in these for more than about 2 hours, they really my feet up. Other than those two issues, everything else on the shoe is perfectly fine. And in terms of lockdown, I do think these are slightly better than the Kobe 9 Elite. So this collar here is the biggest change. The last Kobe was a much more of a sock-like fit, and it was almost like a separate piece of the shoe. You had the collar and then you had the rest of the shoe. So when you were moving, everything was almost as if it was two separate independent pieces, giving you the placebo effect of a high and then the real true feeling or fit of a low. Now these guys fit perfect as far as giving you that one-to-one fit. Nothing feels separate or segmented. So I definitely enjoyed that over the Kobe 9 Elite. Some people thought that because of that segmented feel that the Kobe 9s felt a little more clunky, which I can totally understand, and you won't get that clunky feeling with this guy right here. And they also stepped up the interior comfort. While the upper is really pretty thin and there's nothing real to it, all of this dark purple area here is extra padding. So it's extra padding all the way through the Achilles as well as the base of the heel, which helps cup your foot into the back of the shoe, which I actually really enjoyed. So I didn't really feel that this collar was as annoying as the last one. The last one I did kind of feel that I was wearing a high top that was unnecessary, whereas these guys, you just kind of lace them up and you're pretty much good to go. You don't ever really notice one thing or the other, which is perfectly fine in my book. Overall support is exactly the same as the Kobe 10 as well. You still have the little clip right here at the forefoot, and then most of that support is coming from the overall fit, whereas the low profile feel and the TPU cage is giving you the rest of the support, so you're really stable underfoot, and then you have great fit and lockdown on top. And you get all of this without limiting your movements too much. So I did enjoy this. Again, just like the regular Kobe 10, I didn't find any real difference between the two. So overall, I do feel that they play almost identically to the Kobe 10. Yes, I like the material way more on these than I do the fuse from the previous Kobe. However, I don't feel that it's exactly worth the additional funds. Much like I didn't feel that the Kobe 10 compared to the Kobe 9 was worth that price hike either. There are still plenty of Kobe 9s out there. They're starting to go on sale, so I'd personally recommend grabbing a pair of those if you want great performance without spending too much money. And I say too much very loosely because even with the discounts, they're still over $100. But if you absolutely need or feel that you need the newest model out there or the latest and greatest thing, then feel free and spend $225. You're still gonna get a great performance shoe. So if money isn't an issue, then go for it. If money is an issue, you won't be doing yourself any disservice by grabbing last year's model. And that pretty much takes care of it. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. Hopefully this answered any questions that you might have. If you have any additional ones, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, have a good one.